back to my channel. If you are new here, I explore topics of health equity, transformation via health coaching, wanderlust wellness, traveling for healing purposes as well. I'm trying to cover it all of the pillars of wellness on my channel. So during this fall, I am covering sustainable shopping practices, basically helping us all become conscious consumers, involved consumers in our local communities, involved in policy and politics. We can really change the food system if we change our habits, or at least enhance them based off of just shared knowledge. So that is what I'm trying to bring to you today in this video. Let's jump in this video and find out why it is so important to invest in your local co-op and what that means for you and for society. Hey guys, we are here at the co-op in Santa Monica. So we're gonna go inside and see what the selection is that they have and see if it is really worth paying into a food co-op to get better deals on specialty health food products. All right, let's go check it out. All right, we gotta get the mask. Oh, okay. All right, you guys, we are ready, looking like bandits. I became extremely passionate about health equity issues this year because I lived in East LA and my family lives in the desert near Palm Springs, which can be classified as a food desert, and now I live on West LA, which is a food forest. So the differences between a food desert and a food forest are very jarring when you realize the biggest determinant of your health is your zip code. And so that's just a major quote that's just been going around the wellness space. I pulled that one from The Food Fix by Mark Hyman, his awesome book based on how you can change your habits to help change the food system, and how changing the food system helps eradicate and reverse climate change. And it's one of the biggest things you can do to help change the world in terms of social justice and climate and fighting chronic illness, which is the #1 cause of death worldwide.
It's like heart disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and dementia. The #1 thing that drives all of these illnesses is food. In fact, bad food kills over 11 million people a year, more than any other single thing, including smoking, accidents, guns, or war.
All of those things compacted into one big mission made me extremely passionate about understanding how to have better shopping practices.
In areas where grocery stores are scarce, fast food, carry-out, and corner stores may be the only food access option. Like the dollar store, corner stores typically stock highly processed foods and rarely ever offer fresh produce. Research has linked a poor diet to a range of health issues like high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, and cancer.
All of this is that common theme of having access to health and wellness, even when we are so challenged and we're struggling right now to even find work, let alone money, let alone some of the last things we're thinking about is nutrition and how to stay healthy. But it's probably the major thing we should be focusing on in terms of keeping ourselves safe and well during a pandemic. And that's not just fighting a virus, by enhancing your immunity through nutrition. It's literally fighting the anxiety, the depression, all of the mental struggles through nutrition and through well-being and different wellness practices that can all be interconnected in terms of how we can keep ourselves well this year.
Communities that have poor access to food also tend to suffer from higher mortality rates. One study of Chicago neighborhoods, for example, found that the death rate from diabetes was twice as high for people who lived in food deserts than those who had adequate access to grocery stores. COVID-19 has exacerbated these health disparities. Conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension are among the leading underlying health risks that can turn COVID-19 into a death sentence.
So historically, big corporations essentially use metrics on medium income, on communities, and buying or purchasing power as a means to determine where they are going to set up their grocery stores. So If you look back in history, this stems back to a lot of different issues with segregation, redlining, equality, all of those issues. It's very deep rooted here in terms of access to health and wellness, which is a whole other topic for a video. But in this video, I just want to talk about corporations and how they come in and they essentially monopolize the health and wellness of that community by determining what products are available for that community. But with a food co-op, it's way different. So the food co-op, you are basically a part owner of this community sustained and developed grocery store that specializes in local organic produce, fresh fruits, veggies, and meat products from local farms that you know the names of. There's pictures of the farmers in the store. It's basically like a farmer's market, but just always available and always open to everybody, because farmers markets can be only available for just a couple of hours, a few times a week. But a food co-op is essentially accessible to the entire community. Wow, if you really want an incredible selection of eggs, definitely go to a health food specialty store. I've figured out solutions for all of my health issues by healing the gut through functional nutrition. So that's why it's important for me to go on these shopping tours. That really does help my clients who deal with specialty health conditions such as gluten intolerance, food sensitivities, celiac, anxiety, depression, weight gain, candida. All of these different things are interconnected with the common theme of inflammation in the body. So it is important to have access to specialty health food stores. Okay, an important thing to know about the grain-free snack situation is some people, they do very well with eliminating gluten from their diet. There's something called biomimicry. We literally have basically the same type of molecular profile in corn and other grains that are quote-unquote gluten-free, but they're still making the body react in the same ways, and the body is sending antibodies and inflammatory markers, signals throughout the body that we need to attack whatever this intruder is, just because it's in that grain family. So even if it's gluten-free, taking it a step further to be grain-free completely is something really helpful that you might notice a lot of differences with in terms of how you react to the snacks that you're eating. So I wanted to show you some of those completely grain-free options that we have here at this store. There's this really cool brand. Late July, they just came out with this tiger nut flour tortilla chip.
This is awesome coconut grain-free tortilla chips. Those are really great. Q brand is great. It's a grain-free cracker. This pasta we tried once. This was awesome. It's made out of almond flour. This is great. There's this brand called Flackers. Flaxseed crackers. Flaxseed are really great. They're high in omega-3s. So they have really good fats in them, but also, where are they? Okay. Flax seeds, apple cider vinegar, sea salt. This is perfect.
These are really, really great. So, almond flour tortillas, awesome alternative to flour tortillas, corn tortillas. And you can also do it with coconut wraps. Let's see, real coconut. So coconut flour tortillas, these are delicious and they are not inflammatory. This is a great little alternative here. And so again, these types of choices are really good for people who are even dealing with things like MS, arthritis. Let's get some paleo bread. Paleo bread is always a good option because we know it's going to be gluten and grain-free. Okay, let's see what they use in this bread. So there's eggs, almonds, and coconut in here. Not bad. While I was in the store, not to mention all the specialty foods that I saw were available for people who have specific health conditions that I focus on within my health coaching practice, that was exciting in itself. The stuff that I learned about ownership of a food co-op really blew my mind based off of how much benefits you can get just as one person and how much you can actually affect society and the way food is produced and ultimately the way the food system operates, literally by just getting active in your community. So I'm gonna go ahead and read you a bunch of benefits that I found out as shopping through the store. So you are owning a piece of the community. Incredible, right? So there's not that many things you can own in society other than a house or a car or a business. This takes it a step further by owning a piece of community and having a say in how this system operates within your community. So that's pretty awesome, right? You get to have a say on who is elected to the board of this food co-op. You get a say in how much money the employees are making. You get a say in their health benefits. You are decreasing the amount of packaging and just unnecessary plastic in the environment by promoting bulk shopping, which is totally available at a food co-op, and people are saving 50%, up to 50% on food shopping when they shop in bulk. So even that right there, you're helping stimulate the economy, you're helping stimulate jobs for people and essential workers to make a living wage, and you have a say in animal welfare and also local farming practices. You are promoting those as essential practices of regenerative agriculture, organic, grass-fed, grass-finished, all of these incredible practices that help literally reduce climate change and help eradicate chronic illness and disease worldwide. If you are going to be eating meat, because some people do require it in our diet, especially based on blood type, all types of different things, iron deficiencies, all that. There's a lot of good fat and a lot of good iron and just different things you can get from animal products, but you want to make sure that they're clean and they're humanely raised. And they also have a really good selection of fish here. They got halibut, they have really great salmon and smoked salmon. If you're going to buy deli meat, no antibiotics ever. Because if it just says no antibiotics, that means they didn't have antibiotics in the last 30 days. So, a good selection of miso, as well as all the different types of tofu you can get. Oh, and look at that. They got hemp tofu, which is a great alternative to soy tofu. $3.99 here. 30 grams of protein. It's kind of tough to flavor and make a good texture in the beginning, but you just got to get used to it. But yeah, if you're trying to remove soy from your diet, just for hormone purposes or inflammation purposes, hemp is a good alternative. This is soy-free, non-GMO. It's a plant-based meat, so something to be aware of plant-based meats. They can be extremely inflammatory in terms of the crops used and the amount of soy. So this is soy-free, which is something we like. By promoting and supporting those practices, we make sure those practices stay within our communities and we don't get monopolized by large corporations who come in with all their cheap bargain goods and they are just making profit off of us. By shopping at a food co-op, we are literally putting the money back into our communities. And if you are a part owner of a food co-op, you are going to get a kickback at the end of the year based off the proportion of money you spent during that year at that food co-op. So it's like you're keeping the money within your city and local communities. There's a huge misconception that these places are expensive. They are not. If anything, they sometimes come off a lot cheaper than other grocery stores in terms of the impacts on the environment and marketing and air and water that you're paying for when you're buying things in packages. Instead of just constantly giving our money away to these large corporations as usual, and just think about it. Amazon owns Whole Foods. Do we really want to continue helping Jeff Bezos get richer? That's a question I always ask myself. Every time I go to Whole Foods, I'm just like, interesting. We're trying to also be sustainable with how we interact with food, wellness, and the environment, because if you have a healthy life, it correlates into the micro to the macro. You create a healthier world. Because essentially, if you're supporting conscious farming and food politics, you are supporting greater effects within society in the food system at large. So that's why it's just incredible how much change can happen when one person makes conscious choices in terms of how they shop and how they feed themselves. So instead of a large chain grocery store that focuses on investors, food co-ops focus on investing back into the community. And for every $1.60 spent, that is put back into your local economy. So talk about making impact with just one person. Just by going and buying your groceries at a different place, we can eliminate these large corporation chains from coming into our cities and setting up shop. or even leaving cities of low income or minorities and just leaving them to be in a food desert and having no access to food within 30 minutes radius of their zip code. So in conclusion of how awesome it is to shop at this type of food cooperative based off of just special health conditions, local, sustainable farming, that's all awesome. But there's another huge underlying issue to address that came up during the research for this video. So according to current grocery shopping trends, especially during 2020 and the pandemic, big players, take for example, Amazon, are buying up other platforms, smaller stores, and even web platforms to sell groceries to more people. Independent producers and farmers are going to be driven out of the marketplace because of this consolidation. That is something we do not want, because the access to local organic food is so important in terms of nutrient density within food and healthy soil.
The UN estimates that we have only 60 years of harvest left. No soil, no food, no humans.
Healthy local soil creates a healthy microbiome, which has a healthy immune response effect in human bodies. And it's a whole entire ecosystem that's interconnected. Especially in the next few years, if local farmers and producers are driven out of the marketplace, this is going to have ripple effects in the food system from top to bottom. Cannot stress enough, everything's completely interconnected. So if we can figure out how to enhance our food system, we increase food security for all of us. Because co-ops strive to build wealth in a community rather than extract from the community. So it's this exact building wealth and health in the world compared to this stripping and extracting degradation model that we're currently in. So in terms of things always being interconnected, it's always really good to think about things in these conscious ways and how we can give back, and how our habits are really micro, but they're actually really macro. And all of us coming together, having conscious habits, is what really is going to change this planet. If this piqued your interest with getting involved with a food co-op, go ahead and do a search on the web, find out if there's a co-op near you. If there is not, and if you feel called to do so, consider starting one yourself. And it's an alternate economic model that teaches us how to share with our neighbors. I'm all about communal living and blue zones and all of those things that are really a part of a thriving utopian future that is so possible for us all. Especially, we're in the Aquarian age. We know this is what we are coming to. This is the world we want to create for our children. So food co-ops are one of the most amazing things I have had the pleasure of being a part of, because I know I have purchasing power. You can even ask your employer currently to give you a subsidized membership to a food co-op as part of your employee wellness plan. This video took a turn. I didn't think I would get so passionate and kind of just like go off and tackle all of these issues of greater society, but it's needed, it's important. I didn't want to do just another grocery shopping haul video. So hopefully this was of value to you, to see how you can shop in an anti-inflammatory, grain-free, medicinal way for specific health conditions at a specialty health food store like a food co-op. But at the same time, I hope you learned something about health equity and how your conscious decisions truly impact the world at large. So that was the goal of this video. But if you are interested in working with me as your health coach to deal with your specific issues with food sensitivities and inflammatory issues based off the gut-brain connection, I would love to talk to you, help build a custom program for you, help you figure out your shopping choices, meal planning, nutrition, fitness, stress management. All of that goes together in my health coaching signature program. So you can find details of the program at yvonneheavenly.com. You can connect with me at Yvonne_heavenly on Instagram. And I also host Yoga Hit Fusion virtual training classes online. If you're interested in any of these offerings, hit me up and I will let you know how we can get connected and we can work together. Stay tuned. Next week is going to be an environmental wellness camping trip to show you how you can stay very healthy and well on a camping trip. I do workouts and meal prepping and cooking all on a campsite. And it was basically a stress management, meditative weekend trip, a wanderlust wellness trip, if you will. So stay tuned for that video. It's gonna be more like a vlog style. So, okay. I hope you are subscribed by now. I hope I've sold you at this point. We're trying to monetize. We're trying to get better high quality content this fall. Okay, I'm losing it. I've shot this video many, many times. This is my last take. I pray to God this is my last take. Okay, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.